Are you on track with your money goals for this year? If you're listening to this episode in real time, then we're wrapping up the first half of the year. And what better time to assess your goal progress, acknowledge what is and isn't working, and reset your money goals for the rest of the year? Seriously, there's no better time than mid year. Failing to take the time to assess your annual goal progress before the year ends can result in you not achieving your goal. I mean, wouldn't it be worth a little time to assess and finish the year off strong? Of course it would. In this episode, I'm sharing 5 ways to reset your money goals to get you through year end feeling as accomplished as possible. You may not hit each and every goal you've set, but I have no doubt serious progress will be made. So let's get into the 5 ways to reset your money goals for the rest of the year. First, review your original goals with compassion and honesty. Okay, so let's start with this first step, reviewing your original goals with compassion, with honesty, and with grace. It is so easy to beat yourself up if you're not where you thought you'd be by now. But let me remind you of something. Life be lifing. I have learned this the hard way, but you don't have to. And your money goals are never supposed to be a source of shame, okay? They're meant to guide and inspire you. And we cannot predict the future. Trust me, Virgo me has tried many a times to plan for everything, and my plans have gone to crap, okay? So sometimes things come up that we don't plan for, we don't account for, we don't even see coming because life be lifing, okay? So remember, do not beat yourself up if things didn't go the way you wanted them to, or if you're not on track, or if you're not where you thought you'd be by this point in time. Okay, now that I've said that, let's actually get to this step. So I want you to grab your January 1st goals list, right? Or your vision board or your journal, whatever you use to set your goals or your intentions at the beginning of the year. Pull it out, bring it out. It's time to take a look. Okay, so as you are reviewing this list or this vision board or this journaling prompt, as you're reviewing it, I want you to ask yourself, what did I intend to accomplish this year? Okay, so basically, what were your goals that you set? And then once we understand what those things are, now it's time to say or ask, what's working? What didn't go as planned? What did go as planned? Where did life throw a curveball? The key here is to look at your progress through a lens of data and not judgment, okay? We just want to state the facts. What happened? What didn't happen? What worked? What didn't work? Am I on track? Am I not on track? Okay, so data, not judgment. And maybe you didn't hit your savings goal because you changed jobs or you got laid off or this crazy administration impacted your finances. Like, who knows, right? Maybe it was a medical expense, or maybe you just didn't know where to start, so you didn't even take action, okay? It is what it is, right? Use that information to reset whatever got you off track or whatever derailed your plans for reaching your goals. It's time to reset. So step 1, what goals did you set this year? And step 2 is kind of taking that extra step to see if you're actually on track with those goals. So moving on to the next way to reset your money goals for the rest of the year, I want you to reconnect with the why behind your goals. Now, anytime I talk about goal setting, I'm always reminding people to remember their why. And the reason for that is because this why, your why, whatever the why is what will keep you focused. It's what will keep you working hard, even when you don't want to. I'm telling you, it's so easy to kind of focus on the end result, the end vision. It's very exciting, but there is a lot of day-to-day grind to get to that end result. And having that why behind your goals or behind the things you want to accomplish, that why will help keep you focused and working hard during that day-to-day grind when stuff gets tough. Okay, so At this point, we have already looked at what your goals were for the year. So now let's look at why you set those goals in the first place. And this step is really all about reconnecting with the goals you've set. So ask yourself, why did I want to save $5,000? If your goal was to save $5,000 at the beginning of the year, why? Why was that your goal? Was it because, being debt free is important? Was it because you're trying to just stick to a budget in the first place? Like, what was the why behind the goal you've set? And, when we lose touch with the deeper meaning and motivation for our money goals, the numbers feel empty. And that's really when we start just throwing our goals away to begin with, right? Like we ditch them because they don't really matter. They're empty. It doesn't mean anything. So for you, maybe your why is freedom. Maybe it's peace, generational wealth, or maybe it's something as simple as not wanting to stress out over unexpected expenses. So whatever your why is, I want you to say it out loud. I want you to write it down again. I want you to remind yourself of it regularly. When your goals are tied to something meaningful, it's a whole lot easier to stay on track or at least get back on track when things do actually come up. Next step to reset your money goals for the rest of the year is to adjust your goals to fit your current reality. Okay, let me say that again because this is an important one. Adjust your goals to fit your current reality. So often, myself included in this, we create goals based on where we hope to be, okay, where we want to be, that end goal, that end result. That's what we want. But we're not actually creating the goals based on where we actually are. And while that optimism is beautiful, it also has to be flexible. Okay, so let's say you set a goal to pay off $10,000 worth of debt this year, but an unexpected expense took up a chunk of that savings. So instead of scrapping the goal altogether, maybe you scale it back and now your new goal is, $6,000 to debt or even $4,000, okay? Something is still better than nothing. Or maybe you had a goal to save $12,000 this year, but you've come to realize that your budget only allows you to comfortably save $500 every month. That means you should probably scale back your savings target to be $6,000 saved for the year instead of $12,000. And while it's not fun to realize you won't hit the original goal you've set, trust me, I struggle with this myself. We have to be honest with ourselves, okay? Not to mention, the real win here is consistency, not perfection, okay? So be real with where you currently are and how that is impacting your goals and adjust where necessary. And honestly, adjusting your goal doesn't mean you're giving up. It doesn't mean you won't ever reach that original goal. It's growing up, okay? It's recognizing your circumstances, it's pivoting with purpose, and it's you continuing forward with clarity. And trust me, there's so much power in that. Plus, at least you give future you a chance to reach goals that are actually attainable. I feel like that will give you extra momentum when you're setting up your goals for next year. All right, the next way to reset your money goals for the rest of the year is to create a mini roadmap for the next 3 to 6 months. So once you've adjusted your goals, it's really time to create that game plan to help you reach those goals over the next 3 to 6 months. So instead of trying to tackle your entire annual plan, just focus on what you can control from now until year end. So start by breaking your goals down into smaller monthly or bi-weekly milestones, okay? So for example, if you want to save $2,000 before December, that's about $333 a month. Break it down even further. That's about $166 every 2 weeks. That sounds much more doable, right? Like saving $166, even though it's every 2 weeks, sounds easier than saving $333 per month, okay? So it's much more doable this way, and it's way less overwhelming than trying to figure out how to save the full $2,000. Right now, we have an actual game plan that's doable within our budget. And bonus points if you create your next month's budget with these adjusted amounts in mind, okay? I think a part of your game plan or your mini roadmap should be reviewing your progress along the way as well. So, yes, we are doing like a mid year reset, but you can keep tabs on your goal through the rest of the year. So, put reminders in your calendar, make a visual if that's going to help you stay motivated. The point is to just track and assess your progress as you go. And, this mini roadmap or this adjusted game plan for your goals is really how we bring like those big goals, those big visions, like down to earth, down to reality. And it's really what turns those vague intentions into actual actionable results. And when you are setting up your next year's goals, just keep this tip in mind. It's a game changer. Final way to reset your money goals for the rest of the year: celebrate progress and build in your accountability. Now, I know this to be true, but we are so quick to focus on what we haven't done. We're so quick to focus on, where we still have to go. We often forget how far we've come in the process. And like I said, I'm talking to myself here too. If you paid off any credit card debt, if you saved a little bit for your emergency fund, if you said no to unnecessary spending up until this point, that is what counts. That all counts. Whether it's you reaching the full goal or not, it matters. It counts. It is progress. And so please celebrate that, because progress is what fuels momentum. Okay, seeing yourself moving in the direction of your goals will encourage you to keep doing what you're doing so you can keep making progress. It's like a ripple effect. And, in addition to celebrating your progress, I want you to talk about accountability. Like, bring people into your your world, your spectrum as it relates to your goals, because accountability is a game changer. When you are struggling to stay consistent with your goals, accountability can be that thing that sparks you to make that change, right? And accountability can look different for everyone. Maybe it's a finance coach, maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's just a tracking system and you're holding yourself accountable, right? But the goal is to have something in place to keep you focused and encouraged. So for me, I personally do monthly money and goal check-ins with myself, but I also talk to my fiance and my brother regularly about the goals I'm working on. And, heck, if you listen to this podcast regularly, I share my goals with you all as well. I'll be doing a mid-year pulse check next month, so stay tuned for that. But sometimes just saying your goal out loud to someone else can make you significantly more likely to stick with it, right? I don't know about you, but I value being a person who does what they say they're going to do. So if I share my goals with you, I really am doing everything in my power to make those goals a reality. But like I said, life be lifing. Sometimes things don't always work out as we plan, but that's okay. Do whatever you can to hold yourself accountable or have other people hold you accountable so you can at least make progress. Now, I do want you to remember that the point of a mid-year goal reset is not to finish the year off perfectly, okay? It's to finish the year off intentionally. If things in the first half of the year didn't go according to plan, it does not mean you can't course correct for the second half of the year. So use this midway point as a time to reflect, assess, and really reset and get back on track. And now adding a little bit more to that. If during your mid-year goal reset, you realize that your goals need to be changed for the rest of the year, that does not mean you failed, okay? It means you're committed to finishing strong. Okay? And that's a good thing. Some progress is better than no progress. Do not throw your goals out the window just because you're not on track. Reset, get back on track based on the data we have now. Take the time you need to pause, to reassess, and to pivot wherever you need. And whether you knock every goal out of the park or you just make some serious headway, your effort will absolutely pay off, okay? You've got this. And if you need help mapping out your financial plan for the rest of the year, I want you know where to find me. Just request a call with me, shoot me a DM on Instagram. If you're in the Facebook group, shoot me a message. I am here to help and support. You can also request a call with me. I will link to the call request form in the show notes if you want to talk anything through. But good luck. You got this, my friend.